to join you all again. I think pre-pandemic, we actually got to get together down at the Georgia Chamber of Commerce offices and the Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce offices, and I was able to speak at one of your morning sessions. So it's good to be with you all again. And I'm really here today just to kind of give everyone an update on the Georgia Chamber Smart program, which is a special program that was created in partnership between the Georgia Chamber of Commerce and Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield in order to give small businesses, those typically with 2 to 50 employees, the opportunity to find affordable health insurance coverage for their employees. So just to give you a little bit of background, and hopefully my PowerPoint slides will work today, and they are, which is great. And so the Chamber SMART, the word SMART is actually an acronym for the Small Group Multiple Employer ASO Rated Trust. Now that is a mouthful, and what does it mean? All it means is that the Georgia Chamber, in partnership with Anthem, has put together an organization that allows for small businesses to join together to use purchasing power to be able to get their health insurance more affordably. In today's world, there's really 2 ways in which you're able to get health insurance as far as businesses go. If you're under 50 employees, you're either purchasing policies through the Affordable Care Act, the ACA, and those are what are known as community rated plans. Now, community rated plans, all they take into account when looking at your rates are your ages or the ages of your employees, your geographic location, and the ages of your dependents that you're looking to cover on the policy. It does not look at how many men or how many women. It does not look at what industry you're in. It does not look at any of your previous or ongoing health conditions. They are strictly community rated based on ages and location, and they are regulated by the State Insurance Commissioner's Office. So the insurance companies have to file their rates annually, and then the rates are based on those factors. So that if your business and the business next door are completely different industries, but your census is the same, your rates would be identical. The flip side of that, and what happens with that is they're guaranteed issue in that anybody can get those plans, meaning that even a group that is full of unhealthy individuals or people that have chronic health conditions, they will get the same rates that a similar aged group of all healthy employees would have. So in essence, the healthier groups are underwriting the groups that are health challenged, I'll say. With the Chamber Smart program, it's a way for the carrier, or for Anthem in this case, to actually underwrite your groups, look at what your health conditions are, take a look at your prescription utilization data, what your industry is, and risk rate those groups, meaning they're going to take into account kind of what your utilization has been, what it may be in the coming year, how old everybody is, and if everything is favorable, they're able to offer you coverage at significantly lower prices than the ACA community rated plans. We see everything from single digit savings to upwards of, I think this year so far, the highest I've had is about 35 or 40% savings compared to the ACA affordable care plans. So there are truly, if a group is a good group, there is a great opportunity to save on the cost of your health insurance. So why are there advantages to this type of a program? Because many employers are involved. It's that group buying power. The rates are good. It's predictable. And it's Anthem. I mean, Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield by far is one of the largest nationwide carriers. You have access through their plans to their open access provider network, which is not expansive just in Georgia, but across the country. So that if you have employees who are outside of Georgia, they can be covered on this plan as well. Additionally, if you're traveling and you want, you're not feeling well and you want to pick up the phone and find a local provider, you can do that in almost any place throughout the entire United States. So how does it all work? Basically, this is a trust program that there has been a legal entity created by the Georgia Chamber of Commerce that each member business, in addition to paying your monthly premiums, you pay a $5 per employee membership fee to be a part of this trust so that you can take advantage of this group buying power. And Anthem treats everybody as one client. And so it's truly treated as one operation, but each group has their own individual rates. Jill, it does look like there are some folks still in the waiting room. So I don't know if somebody's monitoring that to admit them. It's probably you gave me host rights, so I'm going to admit them all. So I apologize. I realized I am the only one with host rights. I'm not a co-host. So let's bring these additional folks in. Thanks for everybody who has just joined us. We are just going over some of the features of the Anthem Chamber Smart program. That is a trust program that allows small businesses to be able to purchase their group health insurance as well as dental and vision insurance together for cost savings advantages through Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield. Glad you all are here. Let's go to the next screen. So who can participate? So in order to participate in the Chamber Smart program, you have to be a member in good standing. It means you're a dues paying member of any of the multitude of Georgia chambers of commerce. Obviously, the Women's Chamber of Commerce is one of those. And so if you are a dues paying member of the Women's Chamber of Commerce, that gives you access to the Chamber Smart program. You have to have between 2 and 50 employees, and those are full-time equivalent employees, meaning that employees are working 30 or more hours, and there have to be at least 2 employees to enroll in order to have coverage. They do look at participation requirements, typically meaning that at least half of your employees who are eligible do participate on the program, and that's exclusive of valid waivers. So if you've got an employee who is covered, say they're under 26 years of age and they're covered on their parents' plan, that's a valid waiver of coverage. Some of your employees may be covered on a spousal plan, that is a valid waiver of coverage. So it's of those eligible for coverage, less the valid waivers, we do need to cover 50%. If you've only got 2 employees, we can set up the program for just 2 employees. However, it cannot be a husband and wife group. So even though you may both be working actively in the business, most insurance companies don't look as favorably on 2-person groups that are just husband and wife and will not write the group plan. But if it's you as the business owner and 1 additional W-2 employee, then we can do a small 2-person group to be able to set up the program. When you do have less than 5 people who are going to be enrolling for coverage, they do ask for an individual medical questionnaire that each person would fill out, giving some basic health information. If there's more than 5 people that are going to be covered on the plan, we simply need everybody's names, dates of birth, gender, and home zip code. And they're able to utilize what's called GRX. It's a global prescription database. Insurance companies share information on prescription utilization, and the Chamber Smart program, Anthem, has access to that. And they're able to do a risk assessment on what the group's experience is anticipated to be to give us what those rates are. And as you see here on the screen, the group must be domiciled in Georgia, meaning you have to be operating and based, your home office has to be based in Georgia. You could be a Delaware corporation, something like that, but you have to be based here in Georgia and operating in Georgia in order to be a part of the Chamber program. Any questions quickly or any questions before I move on to the next few slides here? And let me just check. I don't see anything. Well, great. So just to give you an overview of how many plans are available through this program, there are actually this year in 2021, it increased from 16 to 20 medical plans. Now, I say it's increased from 16 to 20, but you'll notice on the screen here, it says 4 of the plans are what are called Blue Connection EPO. An EPO is similar to the old HMO in that it's a smaller provider network, and those plans are based in Georgia only. They don't have that national access that I referred to earlier. So even though if we quote plans for you, we'll show you all 20 medical plans, I am going to steer you away from those 4 EPO plans. There's not a significant enough amount of savings, and it's truly a significantly reduced provider network that it's not something that I would necessarily enroll on myself. And so I'm not going to suggest that you would enroll on it for your employees. But the 16 other medical plans range from a very low deductible, 100% co-insurance type plan, all the way up to a $6,000 deductible HSA qualified high deductible health plan and everything in between. And there are actually 4 plans that are HSA eligible. And we can certainly answer questions about high deductible health plans as well. But there's truly a multitude and range of plans available. You can offer multiple plans if we've got up to 10 employees being covered on the plan. We can offer 2 medical plans if we've got over 10 people being covered. we can offer 3 different medical plans. You have the flexibility to choose those plans, and you have flexibility to contribute towards the cost of those plans. Anthem does require that the business contributes 50% of the lowest cost employee only premium towards coverage. So if you're going to offer 2 plans, a base plan and a buy-up plan, whatever the employee only premium is for that base plan, let's say it's $500, the business would be required to contribute $250 a month towards the employee cost. Dependent coverage is automatically offered, but you do not have to contribute, nor are you required to contribute towards the cost for spouses, domestic partners, or children on the plan, but they are certainly eligible for coverage. Excuse me. And the same is true for the dental and vision coverage as well. They also offer life insurance, as well as both short-term and long-term disability insurance. And that's what this screen goes on to here. It talks about the specialty programs. In addition to the health insurance, as I mentioned, dental, vision, and life insurance are available. Many businesses will offer either with an employer-sponsored or a voluntary program for dental and vision. Many businesses will provide a basic amount of life insurance to their employees at no cost. If you do add these lines of coverage, there are discounts on the health insurance, so that if you add dental insurance, it's typically, I believe it's either a 0.5% or 1% discount, and then a 0.5% for each additional line of coverage as well. So that can add to the savings on your medical premium by offering the dental, vision, and life insurance as well. They do get invoiced separately. Everything is done electronically. Premiums are drafted via EFT each month on the first of the month. When we establish everything with Anthem, we set up with your banking information and you'll get an invoice, but they do automatically draft the premium from your account. There's really 3 invoices. It's kind of annoying, but it is what it is. It's just the way they have it set up in the trust. There's an invoice for your medical premium. There's an invoice for your ancillary premiums. And there's an invoice for that $5 per employee per month trust membership fee. Your employees, though, get one ID card that covers all their lines of coverage. It's a great expansive program that offers a broad range of benefits for you and your employees. And as I was introduced at the beginning, I didn't do a full introduction of myself. My name's Todd Gordon. I'm an employee benefits consultant with CBIZ Employee Benefits. And we are a partner of not only the Women's Chamber, but many of the chambers of commerce throughout the state of Georgia, as well as Anthem, to be able to bring this program out to small businesses so that we're able to answer questions, share with you what the rates look like. One other thing that I'll point out, because this is a trust program that all the businesses join in together, all medical plans, all benefit plans renew on April 1st each year. So we just started the plan year, April 1 for 2021. And what that means is that if you join, for example, on June 1st, you join the program, you'll have a 10-month initial plan year for your first plan year. And then for next April, come January of 2022, you would get a renewal for April 1st of 2022.
Veronica speaking.
Hi, Veronica. How are you?
Good, how are you?
If you were to join after we're 6 months to April, so in October, then you would actually have an extended renewal period, and you would actually have a 17-month plan year for your initial plan year to get you onto that April 1 cycle. And the dental and vision and life rates, those do have a 2-year rate guarantee, so those wouldn't renew until the second plan renewal. So just a couple of different tidbits. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Hopefully everybody's had a chance to jot down my information there. I see there's a question in the chat, so let me say, of course will make you the host again. That was my next step.
I have a question for you when you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is Sarah. So speaking of rates, do you have some information around the rates for the insurance for at least the 2 people in the company? I suppose it varies by the amount of people that are on the insurance. I'm not sure how that works. And then do you have a sense of like what the deductibles are and what it all entails?
Yes, of course. So the rates are actually based on your demographic, your census. And so the rates can range, based on if a younger group, the rates are going to be lower. If it's an older group, the rates are going to be higher. So on average, what we see, if you've got a typical demographic, with an average age in the late 30s to, I'll call it mid 30s to mid 40s, we typically see a range of premiums that is probably $300 to $350 a month, on up to $500 a month, somewhere in between. And that will range based on the plan design that you're selecting. So obviously a plan that's got a lower deductible will have a higher premium cost, whereas one of the high deductible HSA plans would have a lower premium cost based on the plan design.
And those rates that you quoted, the 350 and 500, are those for the two people or
That would be a per person, correct?
per
And so
person?
per person. So like that would be the employee only rate. Typically employee plus spouse is just double that rate. Employee plus children is not quite double. It's like 1.8. And then family rates are typically about 3 times what the employee rate is.
Okay, so we're talking 350 to 500 a month.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct. Of which the business would be responsible for 50% of that cost towards the employee.
okay. And the employee could pay. Okay, and then do you have a sense of the range of the deductibles?
I do. So let me just pull something up here. I'll bring it up. One quick moment here.
Oh, and the other question was, on this plan, can you have pre-existing conditions?
Great question. You can. And so even it is a risk rated plan, but there are no pre-existing conditions exclusions. So as long as they offer you coverage and the rates are favorable, then all pre-existing conditions would be covered. So on I'll call it the rich end or the high end plan, a $1,500 deductible with 100% coinsurance is the richest plan available. And what that means is that if you had deductible related expenses, an outpatient surgical procedure, and inpatient hospitalization, the first $1,500 would be the insured's responsibility as deductible. Then Anthem would pick up 100% of the cost thereafter, with a maximum out of pocket on that plan of $3,000. So where does the other $1,500 come from? It would come in the form of office visit copays, prescription copays, things like that. Once you would get to that $3,000 out of pocket maximum for an individual, then Anthem would pick up the cost at 100% for the remainder of the calendar year. Deductibles and out of pocket maximums go on a calendar year basis. And so $1,500 is the low end deductible, and then I'll call it or the rich plan. And then on the other end of the spectrum is for a copay plan. It's a $6,500 deductible. And for the high deductible HSA qualified plans where there are no copays, it's a $6,300 deductible is the highest deductible on those plans. So $1,500 up to $6,500 is the range.
And how much is the $1,500 one?
So it just depends on the
it depends. Okay,
it
sorry.
depends on, it depends on the demographic. But so like, for example, I just pulled one up that was a 4-person group. And I don't have the average ages in front of me, but on the high end, the premium for employee only on that $1,500 deductible plan for this particular group was $675 a month, and the low end was $498. So they were, and I know that there were a couple of older people in that group. There was one person in their 60s and one in their 50s. So it pulled the average age up a little bit for that particular group.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Hi, Todd. Akisi.
Hi, Casey.
How are you? Couple of questions for clarification. When you speak to demographics, you mean the different demographics of the entire group in which we're buying into, or does it just encompass our employees?
Great question. So each group is individually rated. So the demographics refer to your specific company. So like if the Women's Chamber of Commerce wanted to institute an employee benefits program, the demographics we're referring to are Jill and her employees, their ages, their health conditions, et cetera, where they live, would all get factored in. And the fact that the Chamber of Commerce is the industry. And the Chamber Smart program is one program. There's also the Farm Bureau program as well, that for certain businesses that are in certain industries that are related to the farming community, very similar plan options are available, and the rates are similar. Sometimes there's a slight variation, but if you're in a business that is somehow related to farming, and that can be everything from somebody who is literally growing crops to somebody who is manufacturing, somebody who is in the beverage business that uses produce, a restaurant, all of those, there's the Farm Bureau side of this as well. And if you're in that industry, we can look at it both ways and look at the rates both from the Farm Bureau program, which is just a separate trust, and the Chamber Trust, and see which is better for your business and pick and choose which one to join as well.
That's good to know because we are in farming. So awesome. So another question, the plan types, are these HMO, PPO, POS?
They are all POS plans, except for those EPO plans that I mentioned that show up on the sheet that I don't really sell or encourage people to sign up for, but they are all what are called open access point of service plans. So they're just like the traditional PPO plans in that you don't have to choose a primary care physician. It's an open access network. You don't need a referral to go see a specialist. So if your knee is bothering you and you want to make an appointment with the orthopedist, you find one in network, you make an appointment and you go. You don't have to go to your primary care physician first to get that referral. You're muted if you're asking a follow-up question.
Oh, yeah, my age is catching up with me. I don't remember what the question was. I'll circle back. I had one more question. I'll circle back.
No problem. I will mention that if you want to take a look at the provider network, the Anthem website is anthem.com, and you can search the provider network as a guest. And you just, when you go to the website and it asks about searching, you say that you're a guest and you're looking for employer sponsored coverage. And it's the Blue Open Access POS network is what you would search to look for a provider. And if we have a conversation and we're looking at rates for you as part of the process, if you've got a doctor in mind, and say, hey, can you take a quick look? We can bring it, I can pull it up and do a quick search, in about 3 minutes to be able to see whether a certain provider is in the network. Was that what your question was going to be?
That was not, but that did answer a question I had later on. I think the question was around what constitutes as full-time. Is it 40 hours? Is it 20? Someone who's a little over 20 hours?
Great question. So under the Affordable Care Act, which really addresses businesses that have 50 or more employees with the employer mandate, they use 30 hours as definition of a full-time employee. You do have the flexibility to go down lower. You could go to 20 hours for eligibility for benefits. You don't typically want to go below that. But typically most employers are using 30 hours today. Because you're under 50 employees, you can push it and go up to 40 and say that employees must be working 40 or more hours to be eligible. But we typically encourage everybody to use that 30 or more hour threshold. That way, as your business grows, if you get to 50, you're not running into any issues where you weren't offering and now you have to offer. It's just easier to do it that way.
Thank you.
Sure. Veronica, did you have a question as well?